Amy, let me tell you about a magical place that is so exactly designed to be enclosed space, year-round fun for the whole family that I bet you already know what I'm going to say before I even say the name. Let's say it together on 3. 1, 2, 3. Great Wolf Lodge. You got it, Amy.
My kids loved Great Wolf Lodge when we went. You probably already know that it has a huge indoor water park with a wave pool, lazy river, a bunch of massive water slides. But then your pack can hit the other attractions because, wait, there's more.
Great Wolf Lodge has adventure-packed attractions like Magi Quest, a live-action game kids can play throughout the lodge, plus the Northern Lights Arcade. Spent some quality time there, so your kid who loves the lazy river and your kid who loves fantasy games will both have a great time.
Great Wolf Lodge also offers great dining options and complimentary daily events like nightly dance parties, all under one roof. Unpack the car once and you're settled in to have fun. And with 22 lodges across the country, you're always a short drive away from adventure.
We've both had such great times at Great Wolf Lodge, so bring your pack together at a lodge near you. Learn more at greatwolf.com and strengthen the pack. Did someone hit us with a cement brick on the way in here?
What fresh hell?
Laughing in the face of motherhood.
I'd be lying if I called it a gay romp.
With Margaret Abels
and Amy Wilson.
When I read him, I pull sections of my own hair out.
A podcast that solves today's parenting dilemmas
so you don't have to.
Not every song is going to slap.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to What Fresh Hell, Laughing in the Face of Motherhood. Even more laughing, even more faces, even more motherhood.
I think it's going to be less motherhood. We thought we would do a bonus episode.
Yeah, you're right. No motherhood, more laughing, and two faces.
The two faces of motherhood. This is going to be the stuff that we do without the kids, the stuff we're watching, listening to, and reading.
Yeah, a little bit behind the scenes fun to start. Amy, how long have we been trying to record this episode?
Seriously, 15 minutes. I'm on vacation this week and brought a smaller version of my usual mic, which I thought would work, and it's been amazing. It's going great.
You'd think 5 years in would be a little bit better at sound, but so far, no.
So far, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully you can hear Amy. Otherwise, just fast forward through Amy's parts and just listen to my parts.
Gosh. But I have brought the receipts. I'm ready to talk about stuff that I'm watching right now. And should we start with watching what we're watching right now?
Our inspiration for this episode is that Amy and I often get on, before we record, we see each other on video. And I'm like, before we start Bridgerton or whatever, and we have a long conversation about all the things we're watching and reading and doing. And then we're like, okay, now let's stop having fun and talk about motherhood, And so we thought maybe we'd just record the fun part and see if that works and see if it's entertaining. Is it? Yet to be seen.
So would you like to start? Would you like to tell me something you're watching right now as if I don't know?
Well, everyone knows that I'm watching Bridgerton.
Yes.
Which a lot of people dogged the second season of Bridgerton. And I don't know. I really, really liked it. I thought it's so silly. It's just 400 hours of two people almost kissing. It's ridiculous. It's so silly, but it's all for me. I really like it. I'm into it. I like Bridgerton. I'm a fan.
My problem is when you have big kids, my TV watching can really only happen with my kids who stay up later than me, right? So, and they're teenagers, so they'll watch whatever. But at least the first season of Bridgerton, you cannot watch Bridgerton with your children.
No, you can't watch Bridgerton with them.
No,
please don't.
So second season, can I start with the second season, which is less salacious, and watch that with my kids?
Yeah. You actually can. There's almost that's what people were complaining about. They were like, there's not enough. The first season was insane, over the top. Like, it was just a 24-hour makeout session. And I will say the Duke did you watch the first season of Bridgerton at all?
No. Like I said, I don't get TV time without a child with me. Yes.
Oh, Amy, on the plane. No. We're going to, although it might be hard to watch on a plane because the people next to you would be like, what is wrong with that lady?
Given we don't care about each other on planes anymore, right? We're all feral, but I'm not going to put Bridgerton on.
Yeah, exactly. You could just be part of the problem. I will say that loved Bridgerton. The Duke is gone, but I found the second season hottie extremely hot. And I liked the girl. I just loved it. I loved Bridgerton, but I've talked about that one already. So I will give you my other
new hot tip.
Problematic bingeable.
Okay.
Problematic, but bingeable.
I'm going to hashtag problematic bingeable.
The Thing About Pam, which is a Dateline brought to life in fictional form starring Renee Zellweger. Zellweger?
Is it about Pamela Smart?
No, it is about, if you don't know the story, there's a podcast that you should listen to. This is pin it for what we're listening to.
All good shows come from podcasts.
There's an amazing podcast called The Thing About Pam. And then they made a movie of it that is very, I mean, again, I keep talking to people and they're like, it's so lame and campy. Like, basically, it's Renee Zellweger wearing a fat suit, which I have a lot to say about, but I'm not going to even go down that rabbit hole. But like,
didn't we leave that behind? I thought Shallow Hal was, we're
done with fat suits, guys. We're done with fat suits. It's not being done anymore.
I was in an airport lounge recently watching Shallow Hal like on the wall without sound and was thinking like, this is useful in a, my God, how did this get made sort of way? But okay.
Right. How did this happen?
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying The Thing About Pam while recognizing that it's problematic. I mean, it is so over the top. It's like they were just having fun making it. Like, there's just really stupid sequences. It's not dream sequences. It's poorly done in terms of a lot of it is like my sister and my friend Justine and I were on a text thread about it. And I was like, the big gulp should get like a supporting acting role. Like, it's just basically like Renee Zellweger in a fat suit. Like 90% of her acting involves the way she drinks a big gulp. Like, she's constantly like, she's like, well, anyway. And then there's this like lots of slurping of the big gulp and she's doing like a crazy accent. I mean, it's not, I'm going to say this as a blanket statement. Nothing I'm going to recommend today is actually good.
But it's a problematic bingeable. Yeah.
It's problematic bingeable. It's been cold in New York. Do you want me to talk about Jonathan Franzen, Crossroads? You don't. Like, I liked it, but like, that's not what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for easy. It goes down easy. No problems.
I have never heard of this show, but my takeaway from this is like, people ask me about like acting and are you not acting anymore? I'm like, I'm not acting anymore. And here's why, because Renee Zellweger is playing Pam in The Thing About Pam. So yeah. And when Renee Zellweger is willing to do that, there's nothing for me.
That's right. My dad was just asking me, he's like, cause Amy was on the show Blue Bloods, which is my dad's favorite show. My dad loves the show Blue Bloods, as do my in-laws. And so Amy gets a lot of cred because my in-laws and my dad will be like, you know, Margaret does a podcast with, they call me Meg. Meg does a podcast with a girl who was on Blue Bloods. Like, that's your claim to fame as far as they're concerned. And he was like, what's Amy doing acting wise? Like, I haven't seen her on Blue Bloods recently.
I have to set that free. I broke up with it. You know what I'm saying? Before it broke up with me.
Right. That's right.
I enjoy this so much more. All right. Should I give you some of my watching tips?
Set it free. Yeah. You have a new career as my online podcast bestie.
Oh, go ahead. Yes.
I also want to say that Erica, who works on the podcast with us, just tagged me on Slack when she listened to the last episode and said, Margaret, if you like Bridgerton, you would love Sanditon on PBS, like Sanditon. So I'm putting that out there as well. I might dig in. I have not vetted this suggestion, but I wanted to add it to our list.
We'll put that in the plot. Okay, so last night I watched with my 17-year-old, I watched Michael Clayton, which was a 2007 movie starring George Clooney. And I watched it because...
Oh, I like that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, 2007, I would have said 2018. Like, it's wild how those movies go by.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, that was the year that my third child in 4 years was born. So I didn't see many movies that year. But there's a really funny meme. Somebody made a yard sign. You know how you see those yard signs? Like, in this house, we believe science is real.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
We love everyone. Or, you know, whatever. So somebody made a funny spoof of those that put in their yard. In this house, we believe that Michael Clayton is one of the best movies of the 21st century. And everybody should watch it because it's a really well-made legal drama. And he got into a whole thing with this homeowners association. They were trying to get him to take it down. And he was like, no, this is the hill I die on. This sign will remain in my yard. Michael Clayton is a great movie.
You could burn my house down, but Michael Clayton was one of the best movies.
So I was telling my kid about this, how funny that was. And then I said, like, I guess we should watch it. So we watched it last night, and I definitely recommend it. I mean, I'm making it sound like it's for family viewing. Like, it's not. Like, my kid is like a grown-up. We watched this together.
It's a lawyer fighting something.
George Clooney plays a fixer. And it was interesting because my son was like, what's a fixer? And I started talking about Michael Cohen and like, anyway, it's like, it's the guy you call when there's a mess that has to be cleaned up before anybody else finds out. So he's a fixer and he is very good at it, but he doesn't like that he's very good at it. Anyway, it's a really well made, really well acted, tons of theater actors. And every scene I was like, I know that person. I know that person. They weren't household names, but I knew them. And you know, that's a good movie. They're killing the one scene that they got. And going back to what we said before, I freaking love it when a casting director gives the one scene to a really good theater actor instead of...
Speaking of theater actors, are you watching The Gilded Age?
No, but Sarah Levithan, who is somebody else who works in our podcast, she just recommended The Gilded Age as something we should all be watching.
My sister has a term that is one of my favorite terms in the world, which is, I believe, not original to her, but let's give her the credit because we're trying to get on her good side so that she does not release her memoir, Laughing in the Face of Motherhood, Crying Behind the Scenes, about how I stole Amy from her, which is objectively true. Her term is delightmare. And it's like something that is, it's a nightmare, but it's so delicious that you can't turn away. For me, Gilded Age is firmly in the delightmare category.
Okay.
It's chock full of like big time theater actors from our day, basically. Like all of the people who were big Broadway sensations, like maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
And it's not good. There's no way you could describe it as good. Although I know people who like it objectively.
I think it's they just like seeing people they know marching across the screen, right? I don't know. I do.
It's very, to me, like nobody does anything that makes sense. Everybody's in a different movie. It's one of those movies where Cynthia Nixon is playing like the old bitty aunt and she's like, oh no, my dog Pumpkin has disappeared. And then other people are like, hey, how are you? Like, it's just wild. Like everybody's from a completely different movie, but it is a delightmare. I don't know. It's enjoyable. The costumes are amazing. The sets, it's a lot of CGI, which I don't love. But I mean, how else do you do it? Really? It's like, 1890s New York or whatever. It
would be $100 million movie, right? If you had to sort of create all that.
Yeah. I mean, and still they're spending a ton of money on it. I find a lot of the people completely insipid. I find other people like, what are you even doing? What choices are you making? It's so strange. But my husband and I like to watch it and goof on it. And that's our vibe with it. And that happens. I think also we started it and started goofing on it. And now like it's too late. Like we started being like, I wonder if this girl will have the same problem she's had in every 6 episodes so far. And so even if it got good, like we can't turn it around. We
can't.
My sister and I saw, my younger sister who has no beef with us, we saw Les Miserables, the movie in the theater, the musical. And for some reason, I think it's Hugh Jackman who starts it off. And he like walks on screen and he opens his mouth and he's like, "Rah!" And he just starts singing in his weird Hugh Jackman way. And we just started dying laughing. And then we could not stop laughing through the whole movie. Like suddenly it was like, do you ever have that thing where you're like, these people won't stop singing? Like you miss the conceit. Somehow the conceit doesn't land for you and it's ruined. That's how Gilded Age is for us.
I felt that way in Les Mis when Russell Crowe started singing. I was with it until Russell Crowe.
Yeah, we lost it way earlier, but believe me, when Russell Crowe started singing, we were like wetting our pants. We were just like, this is insane. Like, did someone hit us with a cement brick on the way in here? Like, is this really happening?
I want to give a shout out to Dopesick, which both of us watched on Hulu and really
so
liked.
good.
And we talked about it offline a great deal. But one of the things we talked about, going back to what you were saying, the Gilded Age, is that there is like one setting where people are in a completely different TV show than the rest of the setting.
Yes.
Like you go to Appalachia where the coal mining community is being completely ravaged by opioid addiction. And like every moment is so real. Every actor with half a line is amazing. And then you go to the New York City where the Sackler family is having dinner at the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And they're just like stereotypes and bad hair pieces and a different style of acting. It moves into like high
wig work is so alarming. You're like, what is happening here? There's one guy who's like, He looks like he's in an SNL skit, like he's a small. I think what happened, I was talking to somebody else about that movie. I think what happened is they went for like real authenticity about what those people are actually like and what they look like and what they sound like. But because you don't know those people at all, like what was the movie that was set at Fox News and Nicole Kidman looks just like Gretchen Carlson and you're like, oh my God, how did they look? So Charlize Theron looks just, and you're like, wow, that's incredible.
Right. Like, and Meghan Kelly, like, right, you're just shocked, right? How did they do this? Right.
But the problem with the Sackler families, you don't know what they look like. So all you see is the wigs and the weird prosthetics. And then everyone's kind of like, you know, Sammy, I always wanted to tell you. And you're like, what? Why are you doing the weird voice?
There were large choices, as we say in the theater, large choices, and they didn't really.
Yeah, and I don't blame the actors. I know one of the actors who is a Sackler, and let me tell you, fantastic actor. But I think they just were like, we need to really lean in on the authenticity of these looks. And when you look at them, because you don't know who they are, it's like watching a Saturday Night Live skit that's parodying people you've never seen in your life.
Yes, yes. And I wonder if it might have been because of COVID, you know, trying to do TV and movie on COVID sets. They were so cloistered. There's so many crazy rules. And I wonder if really it was like another director, another city, you know, and they just were running on separate tracks that nobody put it together until much later and been like, these are two different shows. Well, let's cut it together.
Possible, but still worth watching because Michael Keaton is incredible in it and it's a great story. Amy, that's all the time we have for what we're watching. We're going to be back with what we're reading.
For some of us, tax season is one of the only times that we look at our finances fully. And once it's over, well, that was terrible. And it is completely understandable not to want to think about it for another whole year. But using Monarch and being intentional with your finances in an ongoing way helps you see where your money is going and how you can put your refund to best use.
We are here to tell you, simplify your finances with Monarch. Monarch is the all-in-one personal finance tool designed to make your life easier. It brings your entire financial life, budgeting, accounts and investments, net worth, and future planning together in one dashboard on your phone or laptop.
Feel aware and in control of your finances this tax season and get 50% off your Monarch subscription with code FRESH.
As you know, my husband and I are preparing to send, 3 kids off to college, and I cannot tell you how helpful Monarch has been in showing us our full financial picture, helping us to track our spending and reach important savings milestones. Our weekly meeting, Amy, it's now run by Monarch.
Love it. Achieve your financial goals for good with Monarch, the all-in-one tool that makes money management simple.
Use code FRESH at monarch.com for half off your first year. That's 50% off at monarch.com, code FRESH. Amy, when I'm having a good hair day, it usually makes my whole day better. And that's why on every day, I'm taking Nutrafol.
Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist-recommended hair growth supplement brand, and it's the #1 hair growth supplement brand personally used by dermatologists. Nutrafol's hair growth supplements are peer-reviewed, NSF certified for sport, and clinically tested.
Nutrafol offers multiple formulas for men and women, tailored to different life stages and lifestyle factors, so you get support that's actually right for you. Adding Nutrafol to your daily routine is easy. Order online, no prescription needed, with automated deliveries and free shipping to keep you on track.
Let your hair be one less thing to worry about. See visibly thicker, stronger, faster-growing hair in 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol.
For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you visit Nutrafol.com and enter promo code LAUGHING.
That's Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code LAUGHING.
Amy, what are you reading?
I am reading right now a memoir called I Am by Maggie O'Farrell. Have you heard of it?
No, I love a memoir too. I'm writing it down.
It's very good. I actually got it from Literati. I'm in the Literati book club. They used to be a sponsor of ours. I'm still in the book club, and you get a book every month, and it's kind of fun, right? You get an email. It's like, this is the book you're going to get unless you want to pick a different club. And I had always wanted to read this book. So this book is a memoir, and I'm working on a memoir right now. So I thought, okay, I need to read good memoir. She goes through 17 different times in her life that she almost died. And some of them are completely huge and high drama. And some of them are like, you got knocked over by a wave and then all of a sudden you were fine, but it could have gone the other way. Those moments, those sliding doors moments in our lives, beautifully written. One of these books, it's like, okay, I can never write anything like this. I'm going to give up right now. But it kind of skips around, but it just absolutely beautifully written and just makes you realize how that sliding doors thing, how every moment of your life is just sort of fertile with possibility and things could have gone another way, in good ways too. And what almost happened but didn't. It's incredible.
Not depressing, though. I can't take anything dark right now.
I'm not going to call it a light read. I'd be lying to you.
Thank you for your honesty.
I'd be lying if I called it a gay romp, but it's beautiful.
I'm going to tell you that I have gone the other way. First, I have to shout out a memoir that I loved. It's by a writer who I don't love at all. I actually find extremely annoying, who is Ross. I can't remember if it's Ross or Roth. Douthat. He's a
New York Times columnist. Yeah.
Douhat, something like that. New York Times conservative columnist who, like, when I read him, I like pull sections of my own hair out and he drives me so crazy. And I recommended this memoir to you, but I bet you haven't read it yet.
No.
Because I'm not seeing recognition in your eyes. He is like this guy who's like very kind of, as conservative writers tend to be like, okay, my opinions, and here are my 6 points, and I am very sure of my opinions. And then he gets diagnosed with Lyme disease, chronic Lyme disease, and he has an unbelievable bout of it. And he goes down this crazy rabbit hole of trying to find a cure for his Lyme disease. And I mean, like, he's like buying like spectrometers and like strapping them to his head. And like, here is this guy who's like, I know the answers to life. He's dealing with an illness that at certain points of it, he's not even sure is real. It's a fascinating book. And it really takes you on this journey. As someone who's dealt with chronic illness, I think you would really like this book. It's about like how you get lost in things and like you just get out on these weird ledges and you're like, no, I'm a logical person. But suddenly like somebody told me that this music has a frequency that cures this. And you're suddenly doing all this stuff that you're like, I would never, if someone told me they were doing this, I'd be like, okay, crazy. But you're suddenly in it. Fascinating book. It's called The Deep Places.
I also have like on my nightstand sort of half read a book by Meghan O'Rourke called The Invisible Kingdom. And this is a new book, also a memoir, also about unexplained chronic illness. And she has a lot in there about long COVID. It's not a long COVID book, but you can tell. Like you can tell it was in the publishing process. Then they're like, slam on the brakes. Now you have to write about long COVID.
Same with this book. He gets long COVID as part of at the end of the book. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
I loved it. But as a complete departure, I had a rough 2 months. Amy's heard all my cares and woes, but I just got to a point where reading, I couldn't even really watch, like maybe Gilded Age, but like we were watching that post-apocalyptic show, Station 11. And I was like, nope, can't do it. Like I need...
Great movie, but great series, but you have to be in the mood.
I need like whipped cream off of a spoon. Like I cannot handle anything harder than that. And in some, random Facebook, I think it's the Peloton Moms book club. And all these people were recommending Colleen Hoover. Have you ever heard of this author?
No.
She's basically like a romance author. I have read like 6 of her books. I mean, they're the kind of books, they're kind of easy reads. They're like, what sometimes I like is like a good mystery story, or those stories that are like the last thing he ever said, or like the night she went missing. It's like the books that Kristen Bell, she made a movie that is called like the woman in the window with the
Netflix show. Yeah, no, I was going to say that's really good. That's whipped cream on a spoon.
Yeah, but it's parroting all the books that I like, right? But even that was a little too like, every once in a while you start one of those books and it's like, oh, this is a serial killer who like cuts people's ears off and feeds them to ducks. And I'm like, I don't want to think about that. You know what I mean? Like it gets too gross for me. And so that book hasn't been written, by the way. That's a free idea for anyone out there. That's a free serial killer book idea. If you want to.
The girl who saw the man that ate the duck's ear.
The girl who witnessed the duck feeding ear man. Take it, run with it. It's all yours. But these books are like kind of page turnery, but nothing bad really happens to anybody. They're romances, really, which as genre I've never considered.
Oh, yeah. What is that? What is romance? Tell me more about this feeling.
I know, romances. Like it's kind of Bridgerton in book form. It's a lot of almost kissing and then like, I can't do this and I can't tell you why. And he slams out the door. Like that's about what I can handle right now is like, I really shouldn't be kissing you, but I am anyway. That's the book I want.
I feel like it's incumbent upon me to recommend a book that's not out yet, but it's going to be very soon, which is our good friend KJ Dell'Antonia has a new novel coming out called In Her Boots. It's coming out next month, I think, and you can pre-order it. This is delicious whipped cream from a spoon. The whole time I'm reading this book, which I read in like 2 days, I'm thinking like, okay, I can picture this rom-com. Like, I'm so going to this movie. I could so picture this beautiful farmhouse that this,
love it.
Rugged cowboy woman who doesn't care about love owns. It's delightful. And her last book was picked by Reese Witherspoon as a Reese's book club pick. So this one is being eagerly awaited. The Chicken Sisters.
Yeah, the Chicken Sisters. That was a good one too. Chicken Sisters.
Yeah, but In Her Boots is a delightful, fun, forget your troubles.
That's what I'm into right now. I was recently just came back from Florida and I was on JetBlue. And so the TV was on and it was like a Saturday afternoon. Like there's nothing on TV. There's not even like a good like house redo marathon. There's
nothing.
I was flipping around and I ended up watching an amazing movie called Engaged to a Psycho. Lifetime. I mean, we're back on things we watched, but it was like a Lifetime movie about a girl who was engaged to a psycho. Although I don't know if the title, I don't want to spoil it, but I don't feel like she was really engaged to a psycho. I feel like there were other problematic figures. A little bit of a twist there. I don't want to ruin Engaged to a Psycho for you guys.
Are they throwing the term around, you're saying? Maybe they're over applying it?
Yeah. It just,
I was promised a psycho.
It did not seem like anyone had put a tremendous amount of thought into the script. And then it was really funny because it's about this like super wealthy family, but the scene happens on like a yacht, but it's clearly like a rental boat. Like you can kind of see that it's a boat that would normally take like 100 people out to see the river. And then they're on this like really muddy brown river. It's just funny. Like it's funny in the way of like what happened here with these production values.
Was it Lifetime? What like?
Yeah, it's Lifetime. I think it's on Lifetime. I mean, I want to give the makers credit because it gave me 2 hours of true delight while I was flying home. I mean, I was completely engaged. I was like, wow, this girl made some bad choices. And like, it just is really funny. She gets on the boat and she's like, they're like, are you going to go swimming? And she's like, I actually don't know how to swim. And I'm like, okay. She's getting pushed off the boat at some point by a psycho. And of course, she's like posing for a picture. And then they cut to like the railing has been sawed away. And then they cut back to her face, cut back to the railing like 900 times and scary music plays. And then they're like, lean back more for the picture. And she falls overboard. It just, I don't know, Engaged to a Psycho, people. If you really want an afternoon off, I say check it out.
And back in my sitcom days, the writers used to call that laying pipe. Like if she's going to be pushed over, then 3 pages before you have to say that she can't swim. And the executive producer of the show would be like, there's a lot of pipe here. Can we cut some of this pipe?
Let me tell you, a lot of pipe in Engaged to a Psycho. Like, it's like, I hope you don't mind, but I'm terrifically allergic to bees. And then it's like, I don't know, let's go on a picnic. And then 15 minutes later, you're like, come on, bees, just attack the girl already and get it over with.
Where's the beehive?
Where's the beehive?
Another book that I'm reading right now that I wanted to give a shout out to is our friend Jennie Nash. She has a book also coming out next month. And we're lucky we get to read these things ahead of time. But it's called Blueprint for a Nonfiction Book. And I'm working on a book right now, and it is a blueprint, and it's really useful.
Book deal. Amy has a book deal, friends. Get ready.
Yep. Now all I have to do is read it.
Love that. I will give another shout out to something else that I'm using. It's a little bit what I'm listening to, but it's an app that I found out about on a podcast, and it's called Autumn, AUDM.
Oh, yeah.
I am very obsessed with Autumn because I used to love like The New Yorker and Vanity Fair and like the long form trouble at a boarding school. Like it's just weird investigation about something that like I don't really care, but like I'll spend, I like the 30 minutes in the bathtub of like, here's a guy on the internet who started a cult and, it went real weird. Twin Flames.
No, I was going to say The Lost Children of Sarah Lawrence.
That's incredible.
Stop what you're doing. There was a long read article in New York Magazine about a guy at Sarah Lawrence who moved into his daughter's dorm room and wouldn't leave. And the parents were like, there's a guy, like, in our kids' dorm room, and Sarah Lawrence was like, well, he's a guest, he's free to stay. Became like their cult leader, and they all had to give him like their family's whole money. He's now going to jail, but it all started because somebody did a terrific long read in New York Magazine called The Lost Children of Sarah Lawrence.
It will soon be a Lifetime movie.
Oh, for sure. And I've been like reading, I just heard a podcast by the authors of that article. I'm waiting for the real podcast.
Amy's gone deep on The Lost Children of Sarah Lawrence. When we were talking about a bonus episode, Amy was like, let's do one on The Lost Children of Sarah Lawrence. And I'm like, I'm not sure that's 45 minutes, but I like what you're thinking about.
But boy, is it riveting.
But man, she's all the way. It's what she's thinking
But you need
about,
like
guys.
half an hour to read the article. So you use this app.
It's Audible, but for long form articles. And it's fantastic. I really like it. So
Slightly robotic.
yeah, I mean, like I'll go now and listen to Lost Children of Sarah Lawrence, but there's a couple of readers I don't like as much as the other people.
But it is like a Siri voice. It's like AI generated, right? You're not like...
Oh, no. It's real readers. It's like Audible.
Like every article is like assigned to an actual like...
Yes, someone reads it.
Narrator. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like Audible. They're read. And there's like maybe 10, maybe it's gotten bigger now. When I first started, there were like 6 readers. And because it's articles, there's a lot of like, and then I killed her, he said. And there's one woman who has a cadence to her, he said, she said. It just drives me crazy. So not my fave. But I will listen to whoever reads and I've lost the time in my life to sit for 45 minutes in the bathtub and read a Vanity Fair article about a cult that started accidentally at Sarah Lawrence. But I want that content in my life.
Yes.
So I will go to my Audm, AUDM app, and I will listen to it while I'm driving around, and it will make me happy.
Have I told you how much I love the Pocket app for reading stuff like this? It doesn't read it to you, but there's an app called Pocket. And I love it because, you see something on social media that you want to read later, or somebody sends you, this is a cool article. You just like with the click, you send it to Pocket. And then when you're at the dentist's office or for me on the subway or whatever, you have 15 minutes to kill, you open this app and here are all these like half-hour long articles that you meant to read. And it also means you're not stopping what you're doing to read this article about dental hygiene that somebody said you should read. You can save it for when you have time to read it. It's great for like airplanes and stuff. You have all this stuff saved up to read that you wanted to read that you kind of forgot about.
And you read it off your phone or you have an iPad?
I read it off my phone. I mean, it's one of those like clean interfaces. Like it gets rid of the ads and stuff. So it's very easy to read. So it's way better than... I try to go to that first instead of just opening social media because there's something there I chose to read instead of just here's what's next in front of my eyeballs.
Yeah,
I like it.
Instead of the like 45-minute scroll.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming back with things that you should listen to.
My favorite skincare products actually feel more like self-care, like they're so nice to put on and they smell so good that I'm actually happy when I get to that part of my day. And I swear that is how I feel about Osea's anti-aging body balm.
Amy, you are usually the lotions and potions queen on this podcast, but I have to say, hard agree.
Osea's anti-aging body balm is a liquid silk body balm that combines the lasting hydration of a lotion with the firming power of a serum, leaving skin smoother and firmer.
This body balm is clinically tested and designed to deliver visible results you can see and feel.
So we've gotten to use this product for a couple of months now, and I swear I have really noticed firmer and smoother skin, like on the back of my hands. It's like getting a mini spa treatment from head to toe.
Get a spring-worthy glow with clean, clinically tested skincare from Osea. And right now, we have a special discount just for our listeners.
Get 10% off your first order site-wide with code FRESH at OseaMalibu.com.
That's 10% off your first order with code FRESH at OSEAMalibu.com.
All my kids learned to swim when they were little. It was super important to me that they be confident and safe in the water. There was only one problem with that, taking them to swim lessons. I mean, the pools were freezing. There were always cranky adults doing laps right there. And it was definitely not, for any of us, what you would call fun.
Amy, heard. But now there's Goldfish Swim School. Goldfish takes a really thoughtful approach to swim lessons, combining research-based teaching with a warm, kid-friendly environment that actually helps kids thrive in the water.
Every detail at Goldfish is thoughtfully designed to create a golden experience, from shiver-free, warm indoor pools to comfy waiting areas for parents to professionally trained lifeguards on deck.
Goldfish uses an approach called the science of swim play, which combines guided play with proven teaching techniques to help kids learn to swim, build water safety skills, and gain confidence all at their own pace. Lessons are designed to meet kids exactly where they're at.
If you've been thinking about swim lessons or just wondering where to start, this is a great opportunity. Right now, Goldfish Swim School is offering a waived membership plus your child's first lesson free at participating locations.
Just visit goldfishswimschool.com/free to find a location near you and enroll using promo code FREE.
That's goldfishswimschool.com/free, promo code FREE.
Amy, I've talked before about Maintenance Phase. I love that podcast so much. Everyone knows Maintenance Phase. I don't need to give them a shout out. We are always laughing about podcast lists and rankings because as a podcast that's trying to get on lists and part of rankings, they're always like, you should check out this amazing new podcast from Conan O'Brien. And I'm like, guys, you know who doesn't need the boost? Conan O'Brien. Like, how about a nice small mom podcast that people maybe would like to discover? Like, there is like, here's a hot new podcast from Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen.
I don't know if you've heard of them.
Like, guys, the discoverability is all set there. And that's why I don't need to shout out Maintenance Phase because they're an extremely popular podcast. But I really enjoy it. Aubrey Gordon, I would love to get her on our podcast. She's just so delightful and funny to me. And Michael, I can't remember his name right now, but the other host, I love the way they talk about things. They're so funny together. And I think that they're talking basically about diets and wellness and like exploding a lot of myths around diet and wellness in a way that I find self-affirming and wonderful.
Yeah, I like that one.
Love it. Maintenance Phase.
I want to give a shout out to Flusterclucks, which is a podcast for parents of kids who worry and parents who worry. It's about anxiety. And Lynn Lyons is an anxiety parenting coach. And wow, like I think some of us actually have like children with anxiety that's diagnosed, and some of us think we might. And all of us have kids and households where the last 2 years have made things a little intense. And I just think there isn't anybody who couldn't learn from these episodes. And she and her co-host Robin Hudson, who's her sister-in-law. So Lynn Lyons is the expert and Robin Hudson is the the everyday one of us person. But they have a great rapport and they deliver really useful content in a really entertaining and fun way. And even some episodes, if you have an anxious kid, that you could even listen to with your anxious kid. And it's really useful.
Amy, what else are you listening to?
I found, I'll give you an episode and then I'll give you a podcast. So an episode I found just this week that I loved is an episode of Revisionist History, which, as you said, is like a large podcast. But this is an episode called Puzzle Rush, which is very interesting if you have kids who are involved in standardized testing, because this episode looks at the idea that to do well on the LSAT or any standardized test, you have to work really quickly. And why is that important? Do we need lawyers to work quickly once they're lawyers? Not necessarily. Or like chess champions, you can play chess really fast and one kind of player wins, or you can play chess without time limits and a totally different type of player wins. And both of those players are really good at chess. And, the chess world understands that. So why do we apply this arbitrary timed thing to testing to decide who's smart?
It's Malcolm Gladwell takes the LSAT, right? Like my problem with podcasts is I have listened to every episode of every podcast. I'm like, oh yeah, that one was pretty good. Visible History. Yeah. With the LSAT. But I think about that so often, and it's classic. I have a kid in supported education, and it's classic when you have kids. It's just such an interesting thing that I think people are beginning to think about. This is getting dangerously close to an actual episode of our show, so I'll get off of it in just a moment. But I do think it's so interesting how different kids learn and how we're starting to understand that, like, there's an expression, if you judge a fish by its ability to ride a bicycle, you're always disappointed in the fish, right? And that's it. Like, you might have a fish who's on land and you might have a bird who's underwater, and you're going to be like, this bird sucks. And it's like, no, this bird just doesn't know how to swim. Like, this is a flying bird. And that episode captures that in a way that I hadn't really heard expressed before. And it's super fascinating. I think about it constantly. Like, how do we mine what people are good at in a more meaningful way?
All right. P.S. If we want there to be great lawyers, then them being really fast at taking a test should not be the only way we decide.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law has talked to me a lot about this, about, like, especially for kids, like one of my kids, a lot of school is exactly wrong for them. Like not great at transitions, what you do. Like there's no other time of your life where it's like 8 a.m. art. Next up, sports. Now, math. Like no one would do that well as an adult. Like that's not what we do. I was out with my niece last night who's in medical school, and she was talking about how her class, everybody comes in to go to medical school. And then at their phase, they start to like look for specialties. And she says like the conversations are really interesting, right? That people are like, oh, I don't like this specialty because people get sick and die. And like other people are like, but I love that because you're trying to figure out the mystery and like you're really trying to help people. And like, other people are like, oh, I just find like having to talk to people, like they want to deal with unconscious people. They want like to be surgeons who like, they only deal with people when they're unconscious. You know, I don't like the chit chat. Other people are like, oh, I love meeting 6 people a day and helping them. And I think it's just a fascinating topic, like how you identify what people are good at. Could talk about it all day, obviously, Amy, but that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss things we're listening to.
Well, I have one more podcast recommendation, which is something called Radio Rental.
Okay.
Have you heard of this one?
No. I mean, you've stumped me, which is shocking.
It's Tenderfoot TV. Oh, my God, I'm so exciting. You thought you'd come to the end of podcasts.
I was like, I've listened to them all. I'm done with the podcast world.
Some Twitter thread or something was like, what's like the most scary episode of a podcast you've ever listened to?
Amy, I already told you I don't want to be scared.
But like spooky, not like, there's another pandemic. just
Spooky is scary, but okay.
Okay. Well, my daughter, my 14-year-old is really into this stuff. So she loves scary movies, scary podcasts. And so for a big kid, I was looking for something I could do in a car ride with her. And I was like, this episode of Radio Rental is the scariest thing I've ever listened to. And it's stayed with me in that sort of spooky way. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. And we were driving along. And the conceit of it is that it's this man who lives like works in an old video store. And he's like, here's some videotapes. It's weird that they're videotapes, but whatever. He's like, these are my special tapes. If you want something really scary, you have to listen to this. And it's kind of like a Vincent Price store owner.
I wish you could all see my face right now. I'm like, what is Amy talking about?
Well, so we listened to a few episodes before this Vincent Price sort of, store owner makes a joke. I'm like, it sounds like something Dwight from The Office would say. Well, guess what? It's Rainn Wilson. Rainn Wilson does the voice of the video store owner. And they're just, in between interstitials, in between the stories. And then the stories it's just really well done. It's like, one time I heard a spooky noise downstairs and I went downstairs and it looked like somebody had been in my house, but I'll never know. Like they take like 10 minutes to do that, but they do it with the absolute best sound effects and stuff. So it just like builds dread.
Is it real stories or fake stories?
Yeah, it's real stories. So it's like one time I went to the woods and there was a girl there who I thought was a ghost, and then I went back and she wasn't there. But I did find this one thing, and like I'll never know. Like it's those kind of stories.
I like how they are all like, I'll never know.
Yeah, they're like campfire stories that are told really well with really good audio. I would say anybody like under 10, no, but 10 and up, they're sort of spooky stories with Rainn Wilson playing this really funny.
10 and up or scaredy cats like me should not listen.
No scaredy cats,
no scaredy cats allowed.
Yeah.
I like a podcast that reminds me of, but it's real stories. I mean, I guess that is real stories, but it's Criminal. Do you listen to that podcast?
I have done, yes.
It's the woman who hosts it has a very unusual delivery style.
Yes, mannered delivery.
And it's not for everybody. It's kind of Keith Morrison from Dateline, like, and that's how it happens with murder. Like, you have to maybe accept, like, this might not be for you, but you hear a whole person's story, but they're all stories about crimes. And the ones that I like the best are, you don't really see the crime coming. Sometimes it's just a story of a crime, but often it's like a story about two people. It's like Amy and Margaret have a podcast, and like, it turns out like somehow in the end that like Amy is not a real person and has been defrauding me the whole time. Like sometimes the crimes really like you cannot figure out where it's going. And then I get a good solid gasp out of many of the episodes. Like, oh my God, she's the criminal. Like whatever it is, it's fun. Criminal with Phoebe Judge. I'm Phoebe Judge.
Okay.
You'll know the voice as soon as you hear it. Amy, let's talk about music. You don't listen to music.
Not so much. Yeah, I have.
You hum occasionally, but you're not a music person.
I love silence and podcasts.
Yeah.
I love voices.
I have to say, podcast has taken over a tremendous amount of my listening real estate. And I find that I have a bad habit with music where I fall in love with a piece of music. Like the Lizzo album, let's say, from a couple of years ago. and I just play it 400 times until I can never listen to it again. Like I have that problem. I try to go back.
That's very old fashioned of you, right? To listen to an album from beginning to end. I feel like my kids don't really do that.
Yeah. And I find like I have 400, playlists on my phone. And I go back and like, I can't stand to listen to any of the songs. Like I ruin everything. It's like I eat too much sugar and then I'm like, I can never have that again. You know, it's strawberry shortcake ice cream bars. When I was pregnant, I ate like 400 of them. And now the smell of them makes me gag, you know, that's how I am with music. So I just burn through music. But right now, and I'm such an old person to be saying this, but my jam right now is Taylor Swift. My nieces kind of like got me caught up in Taylor Swift, and she has 2 new albums that are like, I mean, people might be mad at me for saying this, although I don't think I'm the first person to say it. They're like Joni Mitchell adjacent. They're, what do you call that? They're like folk music.
Folky, yeah.
I'm telling you, Amy, check them out.
Okay, I will.
You don't even have to check them out because I'm going to be playing them in our hotel room full time because Amy and I are going to a conference this week and you will get so tired of this music. The first album is called, I don't know which one came first, actually. One of them is called Folklore and the other one is called Evermore. And the songs... my favorite author, I mean, I can't say anymore because it was like a high school thing, but I am a J.D. Salinger nut.
Oh, really?
And my husband recently revealed to me that he had never read a J.D. Salinger book. And so for Christmas, I bought him all the J.D. Salinger books and like stood over him while he read them screaming, "Aren't they great?" Which, you know, I don't know how that experience was for him, but it's what happened.
It never, right.
He's from Texas. Like, I think the J.D. Salinger stuff is very aspirational East Coast. Like, if you wanted to be like a good looking prep school kid as a kid, I think that's where it hits me. And I don't think it just doesn't hit him in that same way.
And he's like, this is like a Turkish bath or something. I don't really understand the rules.
Yeah, it's definitely not working for him. But the J.D. Salinger wrote 4 books in total.
Franny and Zoe. Catcher in the Rye. What else? What are the other 2?
Raise High the Roof Beam Carpenters and Seymour an Introduction is a companion book with 2 different stories in it. And then there's another book called 9 Stories.
You are a Salinger completist.
Oh, I know everything about J.D. Salinger. I'm obsessed. And as you read the books, you realize that a bunch of the stories interconnect, that it's the same family that he's telling all these different stories about. And to me, when I was reading those books, it was so magical. Like, oh my gosh, it's all the same world. Like he's in this one world and like everything he's doing comes out of this one world. Like everything he's ever written is somehow tied into this world. And it's phenomenal. And the album, which one is it? I think it's Evermore. I'm looking at my phone. It's Folklore. I mean, first of all, I just love it. Not every song. There's a couple of duds, like anything.
Not every song is going to slap.
But there's a bunch of songs that tell the same story from different perspectives.
Oh, clever.
So it's like you hear, it's a guy who cheats on a girl, and there's a song from the guy's point of view, and then there's a song from the girl's point of view, and then there's a song from like the mistress's point of view. It's so good.
I don't want to hear from her. I'm uninterested in hearing the mistress's point of view.
Oh, but she's the best. You're like, oh yeah, everyone has their own point of view. There's something magical about it to me. Evermore and then Folklore. It's funny, like Taylor Swift, whatever. And then New Year's, because she has a song called 22. Do you know that song?
No.
Oh my God. My niece was blasting it on New Year's.
I mean, probably I do. Like you play it. That's what happens with my kids. I'm like, I don't know the song. Yes, you know. And then it gets to the refrain. I'm like, okay, I guess I do.
Oh, I have the opposite with my kids who are now like on the video games and stuff. It'll play like Take On Me. And they're like, how do you know this song? I'm like, dude, this is my jam.
Every
right
word.
Here. Every word. And I can act out the pencil sketch video if you need me to.
Right.
So check out those Taylor Swift albums. And the song 22 is really lighting up my life. Get 22 and Getaway Car. Those are my 2 songs that are like I'm jamming to. And then the 2 folksy albums.
All right. I'll be doing that. Okay. So we're going to put the links to everything we talked about today. I mean, you're going to be busy for the next year.
You're done, guys. Like, retire.
Your eyes, your ears are full of great stuff.
Stand up, take your headphones out, and yell loudly to your family, I'm out for 6 months.
Right.
I've got a lot to get to. I've got memoirs. I've got bad TV shows. I've got, what do we call them? Questionable.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you guys a gift. I'm going to put all the podcast episodes. This will be easy on a playlist. I'll make a Spotify playlist of the podcast that we mentioned, and then I'll just give you guys one playlist in the show notes.
Huge if true, Amy. I love that.
I know.
Get it done.
Yeah, that'll be easy.
But what was the term we used to describe the TV show with the fat suit?
It was like questionable binge.
It was
binge questionable.
Binge questionable.
Something like that.
It was. Lots of those on this too. Thanks for hanging with us on our bonus episode. This was fun, Amy.
It was seriously fun.
And we'll talk to you next time about actual parenting stuff.
So long.
Stitch Fix. Shopping is hard. Let's talk about it.
I don't have time to shop for clothes.
I have to buy everything in 3 sizes to find one that fits. They know me at the post office.
Workout wear is my only wear.
Stitch Fix makes shopping easy. Just show your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. No subscription required, plus free shipping and returns.
Oh, wow. That was easy.
Stitch Fix. Online personal styling for everyone. Take your style quiz today at stitchfix.com.